Morning, Market Chameleons. How's everyone doing this morning? Dima, you there?
Good morning, Will. How are you?
How you doing? Great.
Pretty good. Yep.
You
Good
ready
morning,
to
everyone.
start with the disclaimer.
Yep. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. So before we get started, keep in mind, Will and I, Market Chameleon, we're not registered investment advisors. We're not broker dealers. We're not telling you what to do. We're just sharing ideas. If you need professional help, call your broker. That's what they're there for, to help answer your questions, provide you with guidance. With that, here's the disclaimer, and I think we could get started.
Awesome.
Let me just share my screen real quick. Okay, just let me know if you see my screen well.
Yep, looks good.
Okay. So I think today we'll go over, see what's moving in the pre-market hours, take a look at upcoming earnings, what earnings are expected to report next 2 weeks, see how the options line up with historical moves, and take a look at the insider trade screener today really quickly. We haven't done that in a couple of days. See if there are any new transactions. Take any questions along the way. So if you see questions popping up, just let me know. I'll try to address those. And then we'll take a look at, if we have time, some bullish, bearish opportunities in the market from the perspective of an option strategy. So with that, let's get started with the pre-market report. These are stocks that are moving into pre-market hours. We got the most active stocks, biggest percentage gainers, biggest percentage decliners in the pre-market hours. I'm going to first filter out stocks that are higher market cap. Let's see what's going on with those stocks. So I'm using this filter up here. Let's take a look at market cap, over 20 billion market cap or higher. So over here, we see a couple. I mean, this one doesn't really stand. Maybe Pfizer trading 3.7 million shares in the pre-market, and that's up 3.1%. I think they got approved actually right now, their vaccine, COVID vaccine in the UK.
Yep.
You heard?
Yeah, it was a rush. I think it's the first one that's actually fully approved by that type of governing body.
Yeah, so they might be using that vaccine before we do.
Yeah, no, it's
a little
very soon. Like days, they're gonna be administering it.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. See how many people start taking it, because that was the big debate, right? If people will actually take the vaccine. Let me do the unfiltered list. I don't see anything really popping up. You know, there's some things that are moving, but not tremendously large amount of volume.
Well, really, the big earnings season's behind us, and it is the start of. I don't know. Yeah. It seems like December is always a little slow, but
yeah. So exactly, we're earnings are kind of behind us. I still see things coming up in the earnings from, but at the same time, we do have, I don't know if people know this, we have another calendar. We have a couple other calendars that you could look up, like company events. I'm gonna just show this really quickly and then pop back to here. But under stocks, if you see company events, you come up to this calendar, and this is looking at other potential catalyst moves besides earnings. For example, companies will attend conferences. A lot of times, the CEO or somebody in management will be in that conference. They might announce, and you don't know what they'll announce, right? It could be a new product, maybe some guidance, maybe they give you some insight. So sometimes during these conferences, people, investors go to these conferences, analysts go to these conferences, that they may say something could make the stock move. And look at the, this calendar is all filled up, 252 stocks right here on this list, December 7th, 129. So always something going on, right? Well, depending
for sure
where you're looking, the stock market stocks don't stop moving. So something's always going on. And obviously over here, biotech catalyst events, these are looking at biotech stocks. They have conferences, they have clinical trials. So over here, you could click around, see when those results are coming up, as well as here, like PDFA. Those are also, important dates for biotech stocks. So just wanted to hop over, let everybody know where that is. Let's come back to the pre-market report. And let's see here. The only one, we have a couple up top here popping up 27%, 26%, but these, 55,000 shares, 48,000 shares. So I'm going to kind of skip those for now. This is BlackBerry, I think, BB. That's
What?
trading 2 million.
I didn't even know that company was in existence anymore.
Yeah, they're up 10.7% in pre-market hours, 5.2 million shares. Let me just see really quickly. So here we go. Yesterday up 19%. So something's going on, right?
Let me guess, they're in the auto space now.
So the rumor is that they're going to build cars, electrical vehicles. Let me see.
EVs.
Something, huh?
Electric vehicles.
Of course, just kidding here. That's why we just see those stocks popping up every day. Anything, with electrical vehicles, investors are scooping up. But here's BlackBerry, and do you know what do they sell now? I mean, not phones, right? Or technology? Is technology inside the phones? Not sure, but
I have no idea what they sell. And that was just a joke, the EV piece of BB. D&I, literally, that just popped up. I made that joke.
Here's a press release.
Yeah.
Look, to discuss intelligent vehicle data platform.
Well, there
so
you
I'm
go.
not sure what that, I'm not sure if that means like vehicle, like car, not sure what that is, but they are. So here you go. There's going to host fireside chat to discuss new intelligent vehicle data. So as you could see, things are still moving. This is going to be another investor. And if you click on it, you could go to the news and read it more, but they're still communicating things to investors that could make the stock move. And here we go, to discuss new intelligent vehicle data platform with Amazon Web Services. So maybe they're going to announce something there. Obviously, they're still in business, still creating technology, and I haven't seen anybody using a BlackBerry. But when
there were some holdovers about 5-6 years ago, but I mean, for those who don't know, BlackBerry was like the big corporate cell phone. People who were on their phones all the time and communicating with their phones were using BlackBerries. And obviously, the iPhone has changed everything, and the BlackBerry's gone the way of the dinosaur. But for some people, I know in my wife's organization, people held on to their BlackBerries for quite a while because they really liked the keypad, actually.
Well, they were even there before the smartphones. It's kind of right. They started out moving towards that direction with that software. But here we go. So trading $7.80 in the pre-market. We could see here the range it started $7.50, $8.80, VWAP $7.94 in the pre-market. So it looks like here's the pre-market, the pre-market chart. It looks like it in the morning. It was up there, and it's starting to trend a little bit lower, maybe leveled off right here for now. But trading 5 million shares before the market opens, so significant amount of volume, and up 11.4%.
Hey, D, it's great. The chat on the chameleons. We have Courier City saying they partnered with Amazon. Perry saying, Dimitri, they're going to build data platform for the Amazon EV vehicles. So our joke has turned into, at least some people are clarifying it, whether it's true or not. Everyone's got to dig and do their own research. And these are great thoughts to bring to the Discord group. For those who don't know, one of the longest running chameleons, Jake, has started a Discord group. And I know Pavel's on there, Jen, Mike, the GOAT, and Dimitri, you're on there actually quite a bit too.
Yeah, I try to get on there like when I get some free time, I try to jump on there, see what's going on. Very interesting. People are posting good ideas. They're logic, their reasoning behind the trade ideas, and some good, and finding like good information just to figure out what's going on with things that are moving.
Yeah, if
around.
anyone who's on the chat now is not a member of the Discord group and wants an invite to it, I'll have Jake set up a link. Just email me at williammcbride@gmail or email support@MarketChameleon, and I'll get a link to you. Sorry, D.
Yeah. Yep. And for those who don't know, Jake also, he writes articles on Seeking Alpha. We try to, when we see it, we try to share those articles as well, but has good analytical perspective on stocks. So a lot from fundamental analysis and from statistical analysis. But moving on, and by the way, that BlackBerry, I remember, when they, besides their business, they do have great technologies. I think like just their patents alone, is probably worth what the market cap is at this point, because some of these companies have so many patents, it just protects them from lawsuits because they could go and sue other companies, right? As infringement on their own patents.
Yeah.
But let's move on. Let's move on to the earnings. We'll take a look at stocks that are expected to report earnings in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to take a look at this report. Next 2 weeks, we'll take a look at stocks that trade on average 5,000 contracts or more per day. And let's take a look what we have. So here we have OKTA. OKTA. Let me just see what they do really quick. I'm going to click on this informational sheet. So software infrastructure. Let me just see really quick. Security concerns, workforce identity. Anyway, if you want to read about it, you could click on this little fact sheet over here, get more information. They're expected to report earnings today after the market close. The straddle, which is buying the call, buying the put at the money, is implying a move of 7% in either direction. So it's looking at magnitude of the move. Doesn't matter which direction. Looking at 7% move. That compares to a historical 4-quarter average move of 3.6% and a 12-quarter average move of 6.3%. So we're 3.5% above that 4-quarter average, a little bit above that 12-quarter average, 0.7%. And the high move on that stock is 19.5% in the last 12 quarters. Snow, that's new, so we don't even have a history on it, but they're expected to report earnings today after the market close as well. That straddle right now is implying a move of 12.5% in either direction. CRWD, also today after the market close, excuse me, that's expecting to report today. That expected move is 10.1% in either direction. That compares with a 4-quarter average move of 9.2% and a 12-quarter average move of 10.7%. So we're 1% above that 4-quarter average, 0.5% below the 12-quarter average. And the high move on that is 17.4% in the last 12 quarters. SPLK, what does that do again? Well, you mentioned that.
It's a tech company.
Okay. Let me just see what SPLK, Splunk, software infrastructure. So also that's expected to report today after the market close that the implied move according to the straddle is 7.8% in either direction. That compares to a 4-quarter average move of 8.3% and a 12-quarter average move of 8.9%. The high move on that is 17.9% in the last 12 quarters. This last one today after the market closed. The other ones will come into tomorrow because these are December 3rd. So ZS, expected to report today after the market close. That straddle is implying a move of 10.3% in either direction. That compares with a 4-quarter average move of 13.1% and a 12-quarter average move of 14.4%. The high move on that is 29.4% in the last 12 quarters. So we see we're 2.9% below that 4-quarter average, 4.1% below that 12-quarter average in ZS. Let me take a look what they do. So Zscaler Software Infrastructure Technology. So there we go. So those are, some of those earnings expected to report today after the market close. Let me move on to, unless you have questions on earnings.
We don't, but one of that SPLN Rod is letting us know that big companies use Splunk for security purposes as well within their
So it's like a cybersecurity. All right.
So that may be one piece of it.
Let me just take a look because I know they've been doing pretty well in the cybersecurity space. So let's just take a look really quickly on. I'm gonna skip the earnings just to take a look at how they've been performing. So here are the trading stats here. So we see here 2-week basis, they're up 4.2% versus the market 1.5. 1 month basis, still up 4.2%, market's up 12.1. So underperformed 3 months, underperformed 6 months, overperformed 1 year. So kind of mixed there. Looks like, they started making some, if I'm looking at higher highs, higher lows, it looks like in the last 2 weeks, it started making a lower high. So we'll see after they report, but we'll keep an eye on it if it's in the cybersecurity space. If there are no questions, well, I'm going to go to the insider trade screener.
Great.
So here, we haven't done it in a while, so I just thought maybe come in here. Let's take a look at anything recently that's popping up. So these are the insider buys and insider sells as reported on the SEC Form 4. So let's take a look at most recent. So we're going to take a look at the most recent filings. I need to put these filters up just to filter out anything that has to do with derivatives. So you're not going to see some of these filters here. These are for my internal. Let's take a look first from the buy side. I'm going to look from the buy side, and let's take a look at trade notional of over $1 million worth of stocks. So we see 2 of them popped up. These trades were November 27th. The filing was on December 1st. So keep in mind, from the trade date to the requirement when they have to file with the SEC, there's a up to 4 days they have to file that with the SEC. Sometimes they do it the same day, next day, but they have up to 4 days. So we see SREV Service Source. That's the company, SREVE. This is the owner who bought it. This is their position, 10% owner. So they did a trade November 27th. Looks like, low price stock. They bought it for $1.30. Now, since that trade, it's up 16.9%, $1.52. Looks like they bought 4.7 million shares, which is a little bit over $6 million worth of stock. And that increased their position. Now they have a total of 18.3 million shares. Now, if you want to go look at that filing, just click on this link. Foot Locker, also November 27th. It looks like this is the owner, 10% owner in their position. They bought it on November 27th, $38.16. Last price was $39, so it's up 2.2% from the trade price. They bought 342,000 shares, which is in notional value a little bit over $13 million worth of stock. So those are the 2 most recent buys above 1 million that we're able to filter out. Let's take a look at the sell side. Let me take a look at above 250,000 just to see if anything pops up in there. Let me filter. So these 2 we did. MRVI. Here's another one, Marvel Life Science. It looks like a biotech. Let me just make sure. Yeah, so biotech stock looks like on November 25th, This is the owner. Looks like CEO bought the stock for $26.94. It's trading $27.79 last. That's up 3% from that trade price on 35,000 shares. So a little bit under $1 million worth of stock that was bought, and that looks like a new position. So bought 35,000, and that's the amount held after. So let's just go here, and this is why you want to link to the filing, because there's more information. So, we try to structure what we can, but there's always some more information on that filing. So let's just take a look here. I'm going to click on that. It'll take you to the SEC website. This is the filing, Form 4. Let's open it up. So we could see here, that's the person, Paul Carl. This is the company. We see here bought 35,000 shares. That means it was a purchase, acquired it. Here you see this little footnote. So you go over here and you could read about it. So it looks like, whatever it is, there's a little bit more information. That's why you kind of want to still go to the filing and read what else is going on. So we're just filtering out the top, whatever we can on the top line. You want to go to that filing, read more information about it. So I'm going to close it. Just wanted to show how to do that. Here's another BIIB, that's Biogen. Now that one I know has been kind of in a downtrend, right? So Biogen, like we had that went up, then came back down. It's been selling off, but here we go on November 30th. Looks like that this CEO, right, bought it for $241.31. It looks like it's up a little bit from there, 0.8%, but 3,100 shares. That's equivalent to $748,000 worth of stock, and that increased his position to 34,800 shares total. So these are, a little, now they're going a little bit lower. So there's a couple more here, but let's take a look real quickly from the sell side. So I'm going to put this back up to 1 million. So we're looking for transactions with $1 million in notional or higher. And let's flip it now to the sell side. So on the sell side, as you can see, we get a lot more, and that's because it's just not unusual to see sales like a lot of CEOs or owners of companies sell shares of stock. Sometimes that's how their income is, right? They get awarded stock, they sell it. But let's take a look to see here how many shares are held after the transaction. So here there's 3 of them that popped up here that after the transaction their positions went to 0. So let's see what's going on there. Here's one LPI. It looks like 2 transactions in LPI by the director, 10% owner. This was both on November 30th. Both trades $12.01. Right now it's trading $11.82, a little bit below where from that trade price. Sold $4.9 million worth of stock, and here 4.9. So it's exactly the same. So look, let's go to that filing. Open it up. And you could see here we got a bunch of different, look at all these footnotes, right? So you'd have to go through, I'm not going to read through all of them because this is a lot, but here's all that information, what's going on, what's going on with that, with those transactions. So go and read. It looks like, they're reporting maybe these are average prices for the day. So it wasn't one transaction, but sold it throughout the day potentially, and gave it an average price. So see here, weighted average price. And I'm just like skimming through it. Anyway, just wanted to show you guys, go to that filing to read more, because there's footnotes, more explanations. Sometimes there are corrections on these things because they file it, they could make mistakes, right? And the SEC just takes the filing and then they could go and correct it or amend it. But go to that SEC filing and read more about it. We're just filtering out that top line information. Here's another Sonos. Is that the one? Well, what is Sonos? That
I think it's a music a tech company in the music space.
Yeah, I've seen a neighbor of mine like carrying a box with Sonos saying, "I'm going to install this to create it's like a boom box or sound effects." So here we go on Sonos. Looks like the director here, November 30th, sold for $21.42. So that's up a little bit. Sold 141,422 shares. That's $3 million worth. Looks like here that position dropped to 0. So let's take a look. That was filed yesterday. Again, let's see what's in there. So again, see all these footnotes. You got to go back and read it to see what's going on. All right, this is the explanations here. I'm not going to go read through this, but just showing how to get to it. If there are no questions.
Yeah, well, I just got actually an email from the Discord group, and I figured you could maybe answer it now. It's from Nag. He was asking yesterday, he saw a credit iron Condor as a trade idea in Tesla, and he forgets how I guess he doesn't remember how he got there or saw it. Could you just I think on this, well, I'm looking at mine on the summary page, it pops up right there. There's a credit iron Condor showing up as one of.
So one way is you have these tabs up here, and if you just want to go and type in a symbol, so you go to the custom tab, right? Once you're on the custom tab, you could just enter it in here, Tesla. And here, I'm going to pick it, Tesla. So jumps to Tesla, and then you could just pick whatever strategy. So he's looking credit iron butterfly. So this is one way to filter it, like from the home page. You could see, pull call spread. And this will pop up the idea that it scans if it meets our conditions. Or if you go to Tesla, so if you're on the Tesla page like this, there's trade ideas. So same thing, under trade ideas, you could do, credit iron butterfly, or what was it? Condor?
Yeah.
Credit iron Condor, like this. And if you you open that report, it'll tell you more about it. So you could read more about it in here. Or if you want to populate this strategy, just say like, well, what does this look like? You hit this options chain arrow. Once you hit that options chain arrow, it's going to take you to that options chain, pre-populate the legs, and allow you to do further analysis. So say you take a December 18th. This is the option chain for December 18th. Here it populated all the legs, which it's in December 18th expiration, selling the 550 put, buying the 520 put, selling the 670 call, buying the 700 call. And if you go here, load strategy, this will take you to a further analysis where this is what the payout diagram looks like at expiration. All right. If you wanted to go, I don't have enough time now, but if you wanted to look at the theoretical values or change number of years, in the data, you could even look at the historical charts, how this strategy performed, up to now, since the inception of these options. But again, that's really quickly, that's the way to.
Yeah. And the other question he asked was, how do I see a trade idea from yesterday that he had witnessed? And we don't keep, they don't roll back, right? So if you see something that's interesting to you, you may want to take a screenshot of it, paper trade it, write notes. Jake has actually shared with us a great product he's put together. Well, it's a spreadsheet that allows you to put down your trades, your notes, everything, which I would gladly share with anyone who wants Jake's the work he's shown to the chameleons before. I've shared it. Again, email me at William McBride. I'll share it to you. But it's to keep track of your trades, right? And your ideas. So
yeah, and remember, like when we're looking at these trade ideas, it's taking a snapshot at a moment in time. So these, it's not like as things move, as things change, right? As conditions change, the trade ideas are recalculating. So it's not like think of it this way. You ever see a poker game, Will, where people have two cards facing down and one flipped over, right? And then somebody has, like, say, two kings, somebody has two jacks, and there's a three. So the guy with two kings has better odds, right? But as new information comes in, let's say the next card that flips over is a jack. Well, now the guy is holding three jacks, the other guy's holding two kings, the odds are changing. So think of it as things are moving, as things are changing, as implied vols are moving, as the stock is moving, it's all being recalculated. So it's only taking a snapshot in the moment in time. As things move, it recalculates. So those are continuously changing. Does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense to people.
That's awesome. And the bell has just gone off, which is great. It's the start of the trading day. Dima, great job. Chameleons, thanks for joining. No one guessed where I'm broadcasting from today. It's actually Ariella, Australia. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
And we had a chameleon join this morning, Keith Milliken. I hadn't seen him before, originally from Toronto, but this is where he lives right now. And he's watching us 12:30 a.m. in Ariella Beach, Australia. So pretty cool.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Hope to see you guys tomorrow.